In 2025, a mid-size insurance company called Lemonade processed 3 million claims. Not 3 million claims handled by an army of adjusters. 3 million claims resolved by AI in under 3 seconds each. Their cost per claim dropped from $42 to less than $1. This isn't science fiction. It's not even cutting edge anymore. It's Tuesday. Today we're breaking down the AI automation wave that's quietly reshaping entire industries, not by eliminating jobs, but by eliminating the repetitive workflows that used to consume 80% of human working hours. We'll look at the real numbers, the companies leading this shift, the technology making it possible, and what this means for the economy by 2028. Because here's the thing, most people get wrong, this isn't a story about robots taking jobs. It's a story about humans finally getting to do the work they were actually hired for. Let's start with the numbers because they're staggering. McKinsey's 2026 Global AI Survey found that 72% of companies have now deployed at least one AI automation system in production. Not piloting, not testing, in production, handling real work every single day. That's up from just 20% in 2023. The total value of work being automated globally hit an estimated $400 billion in 2025. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the entire GDP of Denmark being handled by machines that didn't exist 5 years ago. But here's what's genuinely surprising. Employment at these companies didn't drop. It shifted. The same McKinsey data shows that companies with the highest AI automation adoption grew their headcount by an average of 12%, because automation freed up capital and capacity to pursue new business lines that weren't viable before. Revenue growth at heavily automated firms averaged 23% annually, compared to 9% at laggards. The gap isn't closing, it's accelerating, and the reason is straightforward. When you remove the cost floor of manual operations, you can profitably serve customers and markets that were previously too expensive to reach. Think of it like this. A traditional bank needs a $100 minimum transaction to justify the human processing cost. An AI automated bank can profitably handle a $1 transaction. That doesn't eliminate banking jobs. It creates an entirely new market of customers who were previously unbanked. So where exactly is all this savings coming from? It's not one big thing. It's 1,000 small things compounding. Take accounts payable. The average company processes invoices through a chain of receipt, data entry, three-way matching, approval routing, and payment execution. Each invoice touches 4 different people and takes 11 days from receipt to payment. Cost per invoice, roughly $15. With AI automation, that same invoice gets scanned by computer vision, matched against purchase orders automatically, flagged only if something's wrong, and paid on schedule. All in under 90 seconds. Cost per invoice, 40 cents. That's a 97% reduction in processing costs. Now multiply that across every back-office function: expense reports, contract review, customer onboarding, employee provisioning, ticket routing. Each one of these workflows has been streamlined by the same factor. Not 50% improvement, but 90+%. JP Morgan's COO reported that their AI contract analysis tool reviews 15,000 commercial lending agreements per year, work that previously consumed 360,000 hours of lawyer time. That's not efficiency. That's a fundamentally different cost structure. What changed? Why is 2026 the inflection point rather than 2020 or 2030? 3 technology shifts converged simultaneously. First, foundation models became reliable enough for production use. GPT-4 class models and their successors crossed the accuracy threshold where their error rate on structured business tasks dropped below human error rates. When your AI makes fewer mistakes than your best employee on routine work, the deployment calculus flips overnight. We're talking about specific, measurable accuracy. Document classification at 98.6%. Invoice data extraction at 99.2%. Email intent detection at 97%. These aren't research benchmarks. These are production numbers from companies like Scale AI and Anthropic's enterprise deployments. Second, the orchestration layer matured. Tools like LangChain, Crew AI, and enterprise platforms from Microsoft and Salesforce made it possible to chain multiple AI capabilities into end-to-end workflows. It's not just one model answering questions, it's a coordinated system that can reason, act, verify, and escalate. The difference between a chatbot and an AI agent is the difference between a calculator and an accountant. A chatbot answers questions. An agent takes actions, handles edge cases, knows when to ask for help, and learns from outcomes. Third, and this is the one most analysts underweight, the cost of inference collapsed. Running a GPT-4 class model costs 95% less today than it did at launch in 2023. That means processes that cost $10 per AI interaction in 2023 now cost 50 cents. At 50 cents, you automate everything. At $10, you automate almost nothing. The combination of accuracy, orchestration, and cost created a supercritical moment, and we're still in the early innings. Not every company is benefiting equally from this wave. In fact, a clear bifurcation is emerging that will define the next decade of the software industry. The clearest winners are AI-native startups that never built traditional software in the first place. Companies like Harvey for legal work, Abridge for medical documentation, and Ramp for financial operations. They skipped the dashboard and manual workflow phase entirely and built around AI from day one. Their advantage isn't just technology, it's cost structure. A traditional enterprise SaaS company has 40 to 50% of its engineering team maintaining existing features and fixing bugs in legacy code. An AI-native company puts that same budget into improving model performance and building new capabilities. The unit economics tell the story clearly. A traditional SaaS company needs roughly 18 months to recover its customer acquisition cost. An AI-native company operating at 90% gross margins instead of 70% can recover that cost in 6 months. That's triple the capital efficiency, which compounds into faster growth, more R&D investment, and better products. The second category of winners is traditional enterprises that moved fast. Walmart, JP Morgan, and John Deere each deployed AI automation systems across thousands of processes before their competitors finished committee meetings about whether to pilot. Their reward, 2 to 4 points of operating margin improvement that drops straight to earnings. The losers, and this is uncomfortable for a lot of investors, are mid-tier SaaS companies whose primary value proposition was organizing manual work slightly better than spreadsheets. If your product is essentially a database with a nice interface and some workflow rules, an AI agent can replicate your core functionality in about 6 weeks. We're already seeing this in the data. The Bessemer Cloud Index shows that growth rates for traditional SaaS companies have decelerated for 6 consecutive quarters. Meanwhile, AI-native companies in the same categories are growing at 3 to 5 times the rate. The market is speaking, and it's saying the future belongs to outcomes, not features. The AI automation wave isn't a future prediction. It's a present reality that's compounding every quarter. $400 billion of work automated in 2025 will likely become $800 billion by 2027 as orchestration tools improve and inference costs continue falling. The playbook for businesses is clear. Identify the workflows where humans are serving as the integration layer between systems, deploy AI agents to handle the routine execution, and redeploy your people toward the creative and strategic work that actually drives growth. For investors, the signal is equally clear. Look for companies that are AI native from the ground up, not legacy vendors bolting chatbots onto decade-old architectures. If this analysis was useful, subscribe. We go deep on one AI business shift every Tuesday and Friday. No hype, just data and pattern recognition. Drop a comment. What's the one workflow at your company that you think gets fully automated in the next 12 months? Curious to see which industries are feeling this the most. See you in the next one.